Welcome back to another episode of the Profitable Author Podcast. It's a place where we discuss data-driven book marketing. That did you hear that?
I did. I don't know what that is.
Something fell. uh, yeah, so not data-driven book marketing that crashes, but data-driven book marketing that works. So it's our sixth episode, number six, and we'll be discussing everything Amazon ads. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Um, Julie, not me personally, but someone close to me just celebrated a birthday. What do you typically do for your birthday, sort of at our advanced age?
Advanced age. Uh, my birthday is very close to Christmas. Well, it's like 3 weeks after Christmas or something. So,
What is the
and
exact day and your social security number?
yes, exactly. It is exactly 3 weeks after Christmas.
Okay.
And my anniversary is the day before my birthday. So I
Okay.
get Christmas, and then my husband's birthday is January 5th. So we go Christmas, his birthday, our anniversary, my birthday. So it all just becomes a giant blob of celebrations. And we usually do a bunch of huge things for each one. So just
So
spend
you're kind
all
of
our,
exhausted.
yes, it's the
Yeah.
beginning of the year.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, my birthday's right in the middle of summer. So when I was a kid, we had like a above ground pool because we couldn't afford an in ground, and it was only a 3 foot pool, so it was not deep at all. So, but it's the '90s and whatever, right? Like 13 years old and have pizza, and it's like the best thing, right? So now as an adult, man, I don't really do much. Almost nothing. My brother's is only 2 days away from me, and then my best friend's is the next day after. So we used to get together and celebrate and do stupid stuff in our 20s. And now, into our 40s, like we're just like, we send each other Facebook messages and we're
Yep.
like, hey, happy birthday. Hey, yeah, I went out for a drink on the weekend, but thank you. Like that's it. If someone bakes me a cake or something, like I'm like really grateful of that, or gives me a cupcake or something, but like that's all I need. And that's all we did the other night too. Uh, was a cake, a few of us together sung happy birthday, and that's it. Right?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way to go. Once you get older, right? It's like you don't need a lot. We used to take our son to like rent out rooms at like these jump places or play places and invite friends from school and stuff, but it gets quite expensive, renting those rooms, like $500, like oh man, like just for the space and like a few whatever, right? For like 2 hours, and like I don't know, man, like that's not for me. We'll just have it in the backyard. It's just
Yep.
way better. um yeah, let's get on to Amazon ads.
All right.
That was a
Well,
totally smooth transition, right?
yes, very, very smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I guess my first question to you is why Amazon ads? What makes Amazon advertising such a useful, sometimes intimidating tool for indie authors? How is it different from other types of advertising?
Yeah, so I get this more commonly because people would just automatically assume. Now, we want to separate it with fiction to nonfiction. All right, so let's focus on fiction first, and I'll talk about nonfiction. Um, so what a lot of people say is that, hey, Amazon ads is like, in their mind, it's like the only way to go,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where like people are, that's where their readers are. They're actively looking for their next book, and boom, we can advertise right there. So when they're actively looking, ours can be up for consideration. Hopefully, then for them to click on it, to look at the blurb, to read the look inside, maybe look at the reviews, and then go on to consume our book. And I that's usually brought up in the context of me recommending Facebook ads, and they're like, "Well, don't more people like people are on Facebook are not, actively looking for books. And the biggest thing is, well, one, that's totally accurate. Our conversion rates that we like to see on Amazon ads. So when I talk about conversion rates, I'm talking about how many people click and then go on to consume our book in some way. So the conversion rate that we really try to aim for with Amazon ads is 10%. And
Yeah.
the conversion rate with Facebook ads is like 1 to 3%, ideally 2 to 3%. So what makes up for it is purely how much we're paying for each click. So with Amazon ads, I started running Amazon ads. I started running Facebook ads in like 2010, started running Amazon ads in 2017. And back in 2017, Amazon ads, the cost per click was like, on average, I was paying like 20 cents or something. I even
You're
have
kidding.
like the historical data. Yeah, it was like, I didn't even know what I was doing in 2017. I look back at the campaigns and I'm like, oh, like that's not half bad actually. It kind of performed pretty well. Um, but you have a lot more sort of margin for error when the cost per clicks are lower,
Yeah.
right? But now those cost per clicks are like 60, 70, 80 cents each, right? Sometimes over $1.
Yeah.
So, if you just do sort of the back of the napkin math, we pay 10, so one sale, so 10% conversion rate, one sale in every 10 clicks is what we're aiming for. So if we pay $1 a click, and it took us 10 clicks to get that one sale, that'd be $10 it costs us to get that new reader. It's quite expensive,
Yeah.
right? Where with Amazon ads, what are we paying cost per click? Or with Facebook ads, what are we paying cost per click? Between 15 and 25 cents, maybe, 17 to 27, somewhere in that range. If you're paying a lot more than that, then there's probably something wrong. If you're paying a lot lower than that, there might be something wrong too, because there might not be
Exactly.
qualified,
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
not be qualified clicks, right? Like people actually clicking it and going on to purchase it. But it's around 15 and 25 cents. So that makes up overall, generally for the higher cost per um, for the lower cost per click. Um, what was the original question? What makes Amazon such a powerful tool for indie authors?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean the good thing is that one, we're right where buyers are, where when they're making a decision, so that's good. Um, two, and there'll be three total. Two, um, it's integrated right in with Amazon, so we get some really good data. We could see, hey, this keyword or this keyword phrase, I should say, led to a sale. So, hey, I can now add that as another keyword phrase to target that one. And we'll get into different types of targeting in terms of automatic and manual type of targeting with Amazon ads. So one is that's where the buyers are. Two, we get some really good data from it, and we can even use that data to further improve our Facebook ads. And three, and this is sort of bro science, but just Amazon seems to throw you extra bones if you're advertising with them. So in terms of, and we talked about this in previous episodes, but like ghost readers.
Yep.
So if you're at zero sales, you're totally flatline, no sales. And then next month you got 50 sales that resulted from the Amazon ads. In reality, you probably got 60 or 70 sales, right? So where did those extra 10 or 20 sales come from? So those are ghost sales. So Amazon maybe helping you out in the algorithm. Maybe somebody wasn't comfortable clicking on the Amazon ad, so they didn't click on it. Um, but yeah, those are three benefits of it. I'll stop there.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people are intimidated by the Amazon ads console because there's so many different bells and whistles and like ways to set it up. You can do sponsored products, you can do sponsored brands, you can target keywords, you can target other authors, you can target categories. What is the best strategy for setup in your opinion?
Yeah, so it is quite intimidating. And with anything, I used to kind of complain about this, like when I used to work normal jobs, like they would put on some restriction that we could no longer do this, or some extra workload or something, and I'd always complain. I'd be like, damn it, you know what? There's never a reduction, right? There's always an addition. There's always an extra rule or an extra workload or something. There's never a reduction. So that's sort of like with Amazon ads too. Like there's never like, hey guys, new update. It's now simplified. It's
Right.
rare, right? It's usually new update. You can also now do this. It's like, oh my God. Like I was still trying to get caught up with this other stuff, right? So sadly, there's a bunch of extra bells and whistles um, added on to there. Like sponsored brands came out a couple of years ago, extra bidding stuff, especially around the
Mhm.
holidays, like all this extra bells and whistles. But that's more for advanced users, and just like what we explain to people working with us, being coached with the Facebook ads, is that there's so many bells and whistles. It's like a space shuttle, right? Like you walk in, you're like, or a airplane cockpit, right? You walk in, there's like all these buttons, and you're like, holy crap, I don't even know where to start, right? But all we need is like a Volvo to go to the grocery store,
Right.
like a Volvo from the 1980s where there's like 6 buttons total or something, right? Like that's all we need. Now, you know, part of what we offer is knowing what buttons to push, how to track it, how to implement it, and how to optimize it, and all that sort of stuff. But um, and make it far, far, far less intimidating for people. So you're right. It is quite. It can be quite intimidating if you're not sure where to start. Um, the biggest thing is that I like to start with is there's different kinds of campaigns. There's automatic campaign and manual campaign.
Right.
So let me break them down quickly. Automatic targeting, so auto targeting, is where Amazon will say, hey, I'll take what I know about your book and about the people who purchased the book in the past, and I will show it to products and keywords that people are interacting with on Amazon to show your book. The one downfall with starting with that, with like a brand new book, is that Amazon doesn't know a ton about your book.
Exactly.
So what a lot of people say or see is, "Hey, I did the auto campaign and like it's not showing it to anybody, or the people that are clicking on it, they're not converting, they're not going on to purchase the book." So starting with automatic targeting is not something that I would recommend. Unless now, when do you start it? It really is a question of like, oh, when does Amazon know enough about your book? Some people say over 1,000 clicks. Some people say, after a couple of weeks um, of doing like other type of targeting.
Mhm.
I like to start it, or at least recommend it, after we have a number of sales. So I don't have an exact number in my head that I recommend to people if they choose to do automatic targeting. Um, I don't look and be like, oh, 1,000 sales have passed. Okay, now we can start it, right? Do we have a
Right.
couple of hundred sales? Let's give them a shot. Um, and then we have manual targeting. So manual is something that we say, hey, Amazon, show my book to these things, either these products that people are looking on or these keywords that people are searching for. And the one that I always recommend is the category targeting,
Yeah.
which is under the product targeting. And the reason why I recommend starting off with the category targeting is it's easy to set up. Um, that's what we do in our coaching is showing people how to set that up. And you have like six. All you have to do is like pick 3 to 6 or 7 different categories that you want to target. So what happens is Amazon takes that and takes your bid amount. How much did you bid? And that's another sort of confuse. I mean, Amazon ads could be a whole podcast in itself,
Exactly.
right? Like I could talk about this for a really, really long time. We're talking about bids and we're talking about targeting, we're talking about all this stuff. But depending on how much we bid, it's going to show it on all the products or potentially all of the products, aka books, that are within those categories.
Yeah.
So it's a very easy way. It's sort of doing like, talking about like stocks, right? Like, do I want to target an individual book to be promoted on their page? Or do I want to target like an individual stock, like purchase an individual stock? Or do I want to purchase like this index fund that includes like, or the S&P or whatever? Maybe I shouldn't use an example of stocks. I'm not very good at it. But like an index fund or a mutual fund that has like a bunch of individual stocks under it,
Yeah.
right? So I like doing that because it casts a wider net. I like starting off with that. And then the keyword targeting can also work well, much more so with nonfiction books. The keyword targeting can work a lot better. Um, yeah, I think I'll just stop there. So I could just go on for hours about this.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah,
there are definitely there's definitely a very straightforward way to set up Amazon ads initially when you're just starting out that gives you the best kind of data. And then the other stuff is really sort of the cherry on top that you can start playing around with later when you've got some traction. But I would agree the category ads are by far the most useful when you're first starting out. And I personally use that data to make a lot of decisions, which is a good transition into once those ads are running. I mean, what are the metrics that actually matter for long-term success with your book, and what is just noise? We've got, you can filter for like 20, 30 different types of metrics when you're looking at your data. Which ones move the needle?
exactly. And I mean, like I said before, you can um, take the data you get from Amazon ads and use that to improve certain things like your Amazon listing and your Facebook ads and other marketing messaging. For an example, um, if you were to do keywords, right, and you target, let's say, Andy Weir, you know, popular sci-fi author, and hey, that one's converting really well. You can now take that and be like, hey, for fans of Andy Weir, or maybe I guess you could look at it the other way, or maybe we galaxy braining it here because people are typing in Andy Weir, not picking up his book, but picking up our book. So maybe
Right.
for not fans of Andy Weir, uh, or even in the category, even before Amazon attribution, or before the links for Amazon attribution came out, we were much more in the dark with things. But what I did do was there was I was running a done for you where I was running some of these ads, and there was Christian fantasy, and we weren't exactly sure what category he fit best into. So
Mm-hmm.
what we did was we ran category ads, and we targeted 4 or 5 different categories, and the one that his book converted best in, we used that messaging on the Facebook ads, and his Facebook ads dramatically improved. So I think it was Christian fantasy we ended up on, but there were some other ones that we were considering. So we put your next favorite Christian fantasy book, and that did quite well just by using that messaging.
Yeah. So when let's say you're looking at a client's Amazon ads console,
Mm,
let's
I
say
love doing that. I
let's say
love
they're
it.
targeting categories.
Yeah.
What metrics are you looking at to determine success?
Yeah. First of all, I have to say, I love looking at data. I just love it. It's so geeky, but I just love it. Um, so when you say looking at somebody's ads account, I just love it. It got me excited. But the data I'm looking for is I'm looking immediately at 2 pieces of data. I'm looking at the CTR or click through rate, and I'm looking at the overall conversion rate and then cost per new reader.
Yeah.
So I guess that's 3. So the CTR, what is a click through rate? The click through rate means how many people saw it versus how many people, no, how many people clicked on it over how many people saw it.
Yeah.
So in terms of the column's names there, that is impressions. So how many people saw it? Maybe I shouldn't say how many people, but how many times it was impressed upon a human being, versus how many people actually clicked on the book. So what we want is 0.10% or above. So what that translates is one click out of every 1,000 impressions.
Yeah.
So we want above 0.10 and above. If it's not, usually it means, now it could be a whole host of things, but usually the majority of the time it points to the cover. Our cover is not doing well with that target. So whether it be the categories or keywords or individual products, the cover is just not doing well. It could be a bunch of other things like, okay, the reviews, the pricing, but people don't really see much before they actually click on it,
They're really
right?
just seeing that the thumbnail of your cover, essentially. And
Yeah, the thumbnail, the cover, that's primarily what they see. But they also see like if we put in custom text
yeah,
and I don't want some of my Amazon friends to listen to this and be like, JD, what are you talking about? There's much more to that. I know there's much more to it, but this is like a broad strokes overview. Um, so that's the first thing I'm looking at is the CTR. The next thing I'm looking at obviously is how many sales did we get over how many clicks did we get over
yeah.
how many clicks. So ideally we want 10% conversion rate. Um, so that's looking at both orders and KENP reads if we're in Kindle Unlimited. So in that case, you have to do a little bit of maths. Okay, like how many pages are in my book, right? So let's say, hey, we got 2 sales and we got 10 sales and there were 100 clicks. Okay, that's 10%.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Then the third thing I look at is how much are we paying for each click? And that gives us an overall idea of how much are we paying, what is our cost per new reader.
Yeah.
So the conversion rate is one thing. How much we're paying for each click, or how much did we spend in total? Did it take for us to get a sale? So yeah, I mean it's fine if we're getting 10% conversion rates, but if we're paying $3 a click, man, that cost per new reader is going to be high. And maybe we can justify that cost per new reader being high in some way. Maybe we have a back end offer or we have a really deep catalog. And that's part of the reason why the cost per click have been going up is it's not Jeff Bezos being greedy, although maybe, but
right.
we're bidding, as the name implies, we're bidding against other authors for that placement
And publishing houses.
and publishing houses.
Yeah.
And these are people that can afford to pay a high cost per new reader because their value per new reader is so high,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they're selling the book, the ebook for $10, right? Or maybe we're nonfiction and we're selling the ebook for $10 and we have a back end offer worth thousands of dollars. So we know a certain number of people that actually purchase go on to take up that back end offer as well, right? Or maybe it's their public speaking or extra authority or credibility. So, we're bidding against other authors. That's the reason why, and it's just getting more competitive. Not to say that it's totally useless. I still 100% do recommend Amazon ads, but yeah, that just gives you some context why. So those are the three things I look at: is the CTR, the conversions, and then what is the cost per new reader, and then compare that with our overall goals.
So our like basic assumption when the CTR is too low is that, okay, maybe the cover isn't hitting. What's your basic assumption when the conversion rate is less than 10%?
Hey, that wasn't a question on our list.
I know. I want to know. I want you to say, to tell the dear listeners.
No, I'm not going to say
You're not going to give
it.
away. You're not going to
No.
give it away.
Yeah, no, I'll say it. I'll say it. So yeah, what if the conversion rate is low? Let's say we have 50 clicks on our 5 categories, You're like, JD, my conversion rates are low. And you know what? I've seen this. Like, I get a ton of Facebook ads promoting to authors. And there was one Facebook ad, I'm not going to call any place out or anything like that, but there's a couple of tools to help authors run their Amazon ads because it is intimidating. It's just like you run this tool and it costs you X amount dollars per month, and it says, "Hey, do your thing." And that tool is like, "Oh, pay us this much, and we'll put together ad campaigns for you using AI or using whatever, right? Using templates." And I see a lot of the reviews of these places are people saying, "Yeah, I got lots of clicks. They spent lots of money, but nobody purchased it." So that is like by far 100% the most common thing,
Yeah.
right? People just like bitching and complaining. I have all these clicks, but no sales. It's easy to get traffic. When I say traffic, like people go to your Amazon page.
Yeah.
It's fairly easy. Like, hey, I could show you, or in a coaching or whatever, we could show you in a day or a couple of hours, hey, how to set up advertising, put in a bunch of money, and get thousands of people to your page. Like that's like easy. The difficult part is, hey, do people take the action that we want them to,
Yeah.
i.e., consume our book in some way, when they actually read the page? With that, it's a couple of things. Um, it could be, well, when people are going to our page, they're asking themselves two questions. Is this book any good, and will I enjoy this book? Is this book any good, and will I enjoy this book?
Yeah.
So, will I enjoy this book? So, the emotional aspect of it is the blurb or the description of the book. Does it give away what sort of transformation somebody's going to have from reading the book? Is it going to emotionally attach people to the premise of the book? So, it's the blurb and the look inside,
Mm-hmm.
the read the sample. Um, that is this, will I enjoy this book? And is this book any good? That's by your credibility factors that we talked about in the previous episodes.
Yeah.
The Amazon reviews, the um, editorial reviews, the awards. Um, yeah, so it's if it's not converting well, it's usually one of those. And to be frank, we can fix all of those, and some books just don't take off as others. Like there's books written by the same. Well, Julie, you have a direct
Yep.
example of this, right?
I
There are
do.
some books that just take off, and there are other books that don't. And if we knew the answer to why some do and why some don't, I mean, it would just be a printing press, right?
Yes.
Like
Exactly.
Hollywood producers get it wrong more often than they get it right, you know? And they put in millions of dollars into research into this, right? So how can we, like, if we put in zero research into, if our idea was, hey, I'm going to write a book that I've always wanted to write, you might hit it off, right? But like, I don't know, usually, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. You can do all the market research in the world and come up with what looks like a no-brainer, and it still might not work. But your chances of it working increase exponentially if you do look at what are other people buying, what do those covers look like, what are those blurbs like, are you using the right tropes. Success is just not guaranteed with authors either indie or traditionally published, but there are those things you can do to to sort of narrow the gap and like give yourself a better chance of success. But I mean, you're right. I have a series that I just cannot sell, and it doesn't matter how often what I do to make it more appealing, change the cover, change the blurb, get a book bub deal, whatever it is. Nothing I do makes that but appealing to people to want to buy it. They'll buy it once they buy my other stuff and they know they like it. But yeah, sometimes you just have a concept that's hard to sell. But I would say, maybe 8 times out of 10, if you can really work on zhuzhing up your Amazon page and getting it pretty and making sure you have everything lined up, you will be able to sell.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I don't want to discourage people listening to this either.
Yeah,
Like you have to try. Like
you
sometimes
do.
it just requires, hey, just a fix up with a blurb, and that's a game changer. You know, sometimes it's just getting more reviews, and that's a game changer. Um, so yeah, I definitely don't want to discourage um, anybody at all. Um, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's always worth doing. And I would say if you've got the right things lined up, success is more likely than not, to a large degree.
100%. Like the saying I like to say is like success isn't always immediate, but it is inevitable if you follow the right system.
Yes. Yes. I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, some of the stuff we're talking about here can be complete episodes in
I know.
themselves. You
Yeah,
know?
it's really hard to
Yeah,
narrow it down. Well, let's get back to just
yeah,
Amazon ads.
yeah,
So I often will see people ask, how much should I be spending on Amazon ads? When I'm just starting out, some people will do. They'll be like, should I be $100 a day? Some people are like, can I do $1 a day? What's this balance between testing, scaling, wasting money, especially if you have kind of a small budget?
yeah. Well, it's not an easy answer to question or answer to question, question to answer. Um, the best split that I've noticed with fiction, anyway, with nonfiction I'll address in just a moment, but with fiction, a 10 to 15% of the ad budget, maybe up to 20% of the ad budget, overall ad budget, be towards Amazon ads, and the rest be towards Facebook ads. So that's the best split with fiction. Now with nonfiction, you're looking at like 95%, if not all of it, into Amazon ads. It's totally a different way to market it. Um, so really, I guess it's a bigger question of, and I don't want to get too distracted because this could be a whole episode in itself too.
Yeah.
How much should I budget for advertising? So I will say that $1 a day, it is possible to do it. I like to do $5 or $10 a day, but the thing is that the budget's more controlled in the bidding, right? Sort of everyone know well. Sort of the rule of thumb is that you could put $10 a day on Amazon, and that might only spend a few dollars a day.
Yeah.
You put $10 a day on Facebook, it will spend every penny of that $10. Because it's not controlled in the daily budget. It's controlled in how much are we bidding for each keyword. So if we're bidding 15 cents for a target, but there's everybody else that's bidding $1 for it, we're not going to be shown ever. So we could put $1,000 a day daily budget, and we won't spend a penny of it.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I would say a 10 to 15 to 20%, somewhere 10 to 20% overall ad budget for fiction into Amazon ads, the rest into Facebook ads, and with nonfiction, it's almost entirely Amazon ads.
Yeah. Um, did I miss anything?
No, lightning round.
Yeah.
Let's do a lightning round.
All right. Are we going to switch off or should I just fire them at you?
Fire them at me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. You get one sentence, 10
Yes.
seconds max, let's say.
Okay, keep the timer and cut me off at 10 seconds.
Okay. I will. All
Okay.
right. Auto campaigns, credible or chaos?
Useful, but you need to have a certain number of sales for it really to be super useful.
Okay. How often should you check your ads? Daily, weekly, whenever you remember?
Oh, fuck. Depends on the level of ad spend. Um, Weekly.
Minimum budget to see results?
Fuck. I only say fuck. Okay, I need to say take more than 10 seconds because like you usually get like you'll get the same amount of data, but it just depends on how long do we want to get that data,
Yeah.
right? Like so, in terms of the daily ad budget, you can start seeing results at $1 a day. Now the speed of the results could be very, very slow, right? And you could see results at like $10 or $15 a day where it'll go faster. So you're going to see results at whatever budget. It just depends on like how much do we want to get this data, enough data that we can actually work with it, not just, oh, this has 20 impressions and this has 10 impressions and they're all like they're not working and blah blah blah. And it's like no, we don't have any data. We need to increase the bids or look at the targeting or something to increase it. So it's an impossible question to answer. What's the minimum budget to see results? Any budget.
Okay.
Depends
Yeah.
on how fast.
Target keywords or categories.
Fiction start with categories. Nonfiction start with keywords.
Target 1 or 2 categories or as many as possible.
As many that make sense
Yes.
for your book.
Is targeting other authors still effective in 2025?
Yes. Yeah.
Most overrated Amazon ads metric.
ACOS.
Most underrated one.
CTR.
Okay, yeah. When do you decide to kill an underperforming ad?
I'll keep this under 10 seconds. It depends. Usually the rule of thumb is after 10 clicks, if it hasn't produced any sales or page reads, then turn it off. But if you really are like, okay, this is like the target that I'm aiming for, like this is the category, I'll let it go longer.
Keyword bids. Do you manually fine tune it or set it or forget it?
Depends on how many keywords that we have. For ones that I run, manually fine tuning.
What's your take on lock screen ads?
I've tried them in the past. They have not been effective. I heard from somebody else saying that they're more effective if your book is in Kindle Unlimited. I have yet to test that recently. So I don't know. Last time I tested it,
Yeah.
first, that was yeah.
Does running seasonal Amazon ads like Christmas, Halloween, blah, blah, blah pay off?
Yeah, it really does pay off for books that do well around those seasons.
Okay. And one piece of advice to a total Amazon ads beginner.
Don't put all your eggs, if you're writing fiction, to put all your eggs into Amazon ads.
Very
Look
good advice.
elsewhere. If you're nonfiction, learn it or hire it out for someone to do it for you.
All right.
Yeah. I could have went on a long, long time about Amazon ads. Like each of those things could be 30-minute chat.
Easily with case studies and yeah.
Yeah, we'll get more into it, but I think there was some topics there that we'll have to listen to the recording, but some topics that we could really touch on. I think I think next week we should talk about ad budget.
Yes.
Like how much should your budget be for advertising?
That's just an issue that comes up over and over and over again with authors.
It's a tough question to answer as well, because it really is dependent on what are you comfortable spending, how many books do we have, what
Yes.
genre are they in, what type of advertising are we going to be doing, how fast do you want to see. That's a lot of what it comes down to, right? It's like, hey, do I spend $5 a day in advertising or do I spend $50 a day in advertising?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. At
It's
$5 a day, you'll find out in a couple of months. At $50 a day, you'll find out in a couple of weeks.
exactly. And there are I would argue some genres where it just doesn't make sense to spend. If you're writing like niche Civil War nonfiction, you're not going to want to spend $50 a day on Facebook. If you're writing romantasy, go for it.
Yeah, that's true. Or miming.
Miming.
I love that category. Miming. I use that one all the time. All right. We're still recording. So, yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.